Hi, my name is Cindy, and I'll be telling you a bit about Panama today. So first, let's start with their physical geography. So Panama is a tilde-shaped democratic republic nestled between Costa Rica to the west and Colombia to the east. It is one of 7 Central American countries, and it's roughly the size of South Carolina. Panama is an isthmus, meaning it's a narrow strait of land that connects to larger land masses, in this case North and South America. And it also acts as a divide for the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. Historically, it's been referred to as the Isthmus of Darien, and it has 1,600 islands, with the 2 main archipelagos being the San Blas and the Bocas del Toro, as pictured on the map. It has 500 rivers, most of which are unnavigable, and the longest river, flowing for 215 kilometers, is the one listed here. I won't try to pronounce it. And then if we look at the mountain ranges here, we see the Talamanca Mountains and the Central Mountains, and this whole region is referred to as the Cordillera Central. And then if we look halfway through the country, we see a little yellow square, and that's the Panama Canal. The Panama Canal is considered a feat of human engineering and was coined by author Ignacio Gulub-Diaz as the door to the seas and key to the universe. It spans 65 kilometers, or 40 miles, from its Pacific shoreline to its Atlantic shoreline in the Caribbean Sea. It holds major strategic advantage and revolutionized global shipping and trade by offering a shortcut through the North American and South American land masses. Prior to its creation, individuals seeking to travel west or east through Central America had to navigate around the southernmost tip of South America. The canal acted as a conduit for global commerce, helping bring about Panama's growing service sector, which generates almost 3/4 of the country's GDP. Next, let's talk about climate, starting with precipitation patterns. So Panama is considered to be a tropical climate. This includes high rainfall. It only has 2 seasons, summer and winter. The winter season is considered a wet season and experiences the most rainfall, while summer is a dry season and experiences less rainfall. The Pacific side of the country receives about 114 to 229 centimeters of rainfall annually, while the Atlantic side receives about 140 to 355 centimeters annually. The spine of mountain ranges depicted here on the map act as a rain shield for the Pacific lowlands. This is why the Pacific side gets significantly less rainfall than its Atlantic counterpart. Next, let's cover biodiversity. Panama is home to over 11,000 plant and animal species, of which 200 animal species are endemic and over 1,000 plant species are endemic. An example of an endemic animal species is the pygmy 3-toed sloth, pictured above, which is the cutest animal I've ever seen. And many diverse biomes have been able to prosper here due to its thriving natural environments, including tropical forests, wetlands, mangroves, and coral reefs. And if we reference the map here, we see that most of Panama is covered in different kinds of forests, and you can look at all the different kinds right there. So much so that almost 3/4 of it has forest cover, 63.4%. Next, let's talk about climatic history. So the formation of the Isthmus of Panama is believed to be by scientists the most important geologic event to happen on Earth in the last 60 million years. So by acting as a stopgap for water flow between the Atlantic and the Pacific, it rerouted Atlantic currents northward, eventually creating what we know now as the Gulf Stream. This had significant implications for temperature and salinity. As the warm Caribbean waters flowed northeast, they transported heat to Western Europe, making it warmer, and the Atlantic, no longer allowed to integrate with the Pacific, became saltier. All these fluctuations helped in establishing our current atmospheric and oceanic patterns. And the formation of this isthmus also had major implications for biodiversity. It provided a bridge which allowed the migration of various plant and animal species between North and South America. Ancestors of the North American possum, armadillo, and porcupine can all be traced back to migrations of the species from South America. So next, let's cover human geography. So Panama's total population is about 4 million. Of this 4 million, 12% are indigenous tribes. And these are the 7 main indigenous tribes. I won't attempt to pronounce them. and the majority of them live in comarcas, which are administrative regions inhabited by indigenous peoples, which possess their own independent laws. And these individuals are considered to be highly vulnerable, and they face major threats mainly to deforestation and land rights. I also wanted to cover religion here because the majority of Panamanians are religious. 3/4 of them, 75%, are Roman Catholic. There's a few Protestants and some Mormons, but mainly Roman Catholic. So next, let's cover environmental threats. Panama faces many environmental threats, the biggest of which is deforestation due to logging and mining, also habitat loss, partially due to deforestation, soil erosion from improper and unsustainable agricultural practices, wetland destruction, water pollution from agricultural runoff, and fishery depletion. So onto future climate projections. For future projections, there wasn't a lot of data outside of factors related to temperature. So this temperature projection here is based on 4 RCP scenarios. RCP 2.6 scenario suggests a 0.62 degrees Celsius increase by the end of the century. The RCP 4.5 scenario suggests a 1.54 degrees Celsius increase by the end of the century. The RCP 6 scenario suggests a 2.07 degrees Celsius increase, and the RCP 8.5 scenario suggests a 3.78 degrees Celsius increase. So key takeaways here are Panama's climate evolution has had global implications and helped shape the world as we know it today. The Panama Canal has had big impact on the global economy and revolutionized shipping and trade sectors, and their diverse biosphere promotes rich human and physical geographies. Thank you so much for your time.